After Lissa wrote to Clark's mother on June 2, 2012, she heard nothing. June passed, then July. In early August, Lissa drove to the Spirit Lake Indian Reservation, 150 miles northwest of Fargo, where she danced in her first sun dance, an annual religious ceremony that originated among tribes in the Great Plains. Before prison, Lissa never had any interest in traditional ways. It was after she got out that she became curious. Though her family was Catholic, they had not abandoned their ways entirely, and if a relative fell ill, they often asked medicine people to pray at the bedside. One day, while visiting an aunt in the hospital, Lissa met a Lakota man whom her mother had summoned to hold a ceremony. The man invited Lissa to the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota where he lived, and after that Lissa made frequent trips. He taught her how to prepare for Sundance, how to pray, how to fashion a medicine pipe from red pipestone. One of Lissa's uncles, who worked as a Native American commissioner for the city of Fargo, helped secure a small plot of municipal land on the outskirts of the city to erect a sweat lodge. Soon, Lissa was attending several nights a week, bringing her son Micah along, and arranging for inmates at her old halfway house to attend as well. After the sweat, they gathered in lawn chairs around a fire pit, drank water, and ate sloppy joes. Now, wherever Lissa went, she was ready for ceremony. In her car, she kept a suitcase packed with tobacco, eagle feathers, medicine wheels, inserts for her moccasins, bitter root for her throat when it got sore from singing, a knife, dresses she sewed herself, applying a skill she had gained in prison, and scalpels and hemp thread, which she used to pierce her shoulders under the skin, stitching to her body the feathers and medicine wheels that were torn from her during the Sundance. The dance lasted 4 days, through which Lissa consumed no food or water. Suffering, she was learning, could be a gift, and flesh the only thing that belonged to her, that she could give of her own body. On August 11th, 2012, the day Lissa returned to Fargo from Spirit Lake, Clark's mother, Jill Williams, replied. "I just need info," she wrote. Perhaps Lissa could ask around on the reservation. She should be careful, though, Jill warned. Someone around there is responsible for Casey's disappearance, and I don't want to put anyone in danger. Lissa knew from Jill's original plea that the last her son had been seen was at the trucking company offices where he worked in a segment of the reservation called Mandaree. Fort Berthold had 6 segments, drawn up after the flood. White Shield made up the east segment, Twin Buttes the south, and Mandaree the west, while Four Bears, Newtown, and Parshall spread from west to east across the north. On the 24th of August, a Friday, Lissa drove with Micah and Opie to White Shield and spent the night at her grandmother's house. The next day, she continued to Mandaree. Across a bridge over the lake, the land scrunched like a dry blanket, where the flatness of the prairie gave way to badlands, to canyons cut by seasonal creeks. Red clouds hovered over the grass, dust devils, Lissa thought at first, but when she looked closer, she saw that they were the billowed wakes of trucks. There were roads where she had never seen roads before, curving through pasture like suburban cul-de-sacs. Even the contours of the land had changed, cliffs cut, hills reshaped, as if giants had pressed their fingers into clay. It was her first sight of the oil boom. She had heard about it from her relatives, about a man who came by her grandmother's house promising bonuses if Madeline signed. That had been in 2007, while Lissa was in prison. The man happened to be Madeline's nephew, hired by an oil company called Dakota 3 to persuade his fellow tribal members to lease their mineral rights. By the time Lissa was paroled, every scrap of land on the reservation had been leased, and the first oil wells had been drilled.